Okay, Richie Diehl, what number is this for you?
Number 8.
Number 8?
Yep.
Lots of snow.
Lots of snow. Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot in this parking lot.
Yeah. Last year's Iron Dog was like this, just tons of snow. What do you hear from the trail?
I mean, before all the snow, that we got in the last 24 hours, we just heard lots of snow. But from people that had just drove through the last range, sounded like it was a pretty good hard packed trail. But I'm kind of wondering how far the snow has, done its thing in the last 24 hours up the trail. For all we know, we could just be to squinting on it, but or it could be all the way to McGrath, so who knows.
So we talked earlier about how I was nervous about the snow, and you weren't quite as nervous. Is that because you train it, you've done it, the experience, kind of saying, yeah, I'll deal with it?
Well, I don't, we don't train it that much, but there's not. I think we've dealt with just about. Well, I shouldn't say that, but I think we've dealt with quite a bit in the sport, and you just kind of get with rolling with the punches, and what are you to do? There's no turning back.
Yeah, so you just take it as it comes and
adjust,
deal with it.
Yeah, and if we got to adjust our schedule to the weather, then we will.
Yeah,
it's how it goes. So.
Tell me about your team. You were the same team in the Cusco?
Same team in the Cusco. Yep, and there's a couple others, 2 more that we're adding here. So there's a couple others that didn't race in the Cusco that'll be here.
So overall, this is number 8. We talked to Pete last year about how the first couple of years you're a little nervous at this point, but you seem relaxed. Tell us about the difference between when you first started and now getting ready for a race, when you show up here ready to go.
It's just the routine, basically. You got everything, you've got everything down pat pretty much. I came in and I stayed with the failers for a week because I always have to come in a week to 10 days early. So when the failers are nice enough and they let me stay out at their place, run dogs out of their yard, and that's really nice. And then, everything else from there we've done year after year. So it's just routine and, be ready when it's our time and pull a hook. So
You're about ready to get out of here after this whole week, don't you think?
Oh yeah, yep. Time to get going and do what we do.
Yeah. Your training this year, we didn't have rain in Bethel. It was, I kept saying, knock on wood, there's no R word, but we didn't have it. We had cold temperatures. Tell us about your training.
Yeah, we didn't get snow until end of December. And then when we did, it just seemed like it kept consistently snowing. Nothing hard, but it just kept coming down. So we've had pretty decent trails since, January, right before the Cusco. And, it's kind of funny because after the Cusco, we were kind of dealing with a whole other animal with it snowing every day.
Sure.
So we were having to put trails in, which normally we don't.
So it's kind of extreme, We went to this deal where you have to leave town to go train.
Yep.
And then now it's the other extreme where you got so much snow, you have to work on your own trails.
Yep. Yeah, that was interesting, but at the same time, it was fun. It was like every day I'd go out to put trails in. I enjoyed it. I was like, I don't get all the wind that like Pete does, so to me it was pretty enjoyable to go out and put trails in and take a ride.
Finally a good year, huh?
Yeah. A winter.
Yeah.
So.
Tell us about your sponsors and the whole thing. You're here, but you're the tip of the spear.
Yeah. I got all my main sponsors that have been with me, like Ryanair, Northern Air Cargo, Dr. Carson's, the Hound House Restaurant, Drew's Foundation, just to name a few. But I'd like the biggest, part of this whole operation. I've got all these people, whether it's out in Antioch or in Anchorage, like my uncle and aunt, and they drop everything and do whatever I need when I need it. They're at the airport waiting for me to get the dogs and everything's he's on top of like, hey, we need to get your truck into the shop and get it worked on before you get here. Simple things like that. And then I got my sister where I bring my dogs to, and my mom at home, she's not taking care of the dogs, but she's watching the operation and overseeing the fellow who's Francis, who's taking care of the group of dogs, and he's doing a great job. And it takes a community pretty much to make this happen.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing last night. I was running to get something in the middle of the night for Pete, and I was thinking about all the different people that help all the different teams, and they're just all these little things.
Yeah. Yep. Just the other day, I almost had to get one get Ron to run the underdog for me because he was out in Wasilla to grab some, and it's just one thing after the other, and it's a lot of little things that people do, and it's really, really helpful, and I'm grateful and thankful.
What does that make you feel like? I mean, it's just it must be an incredible feeling to have that kind of support.
Oh yeah, I mean, you try to keep everybody happy too, because it's you don't want to burn anybody out, I think, is the biggest thing, and there's a lot of work that goes into this, and the fans get to sit back and watch us move down the trail on the tracker, but the hard, out in the race trail, people think is the hard part, but this right here, getting to right here, is the challenging part, and a lot of people make it happen.
Nice. Got a little one in the extended family.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. You had a niece?
Nephew
Show up?
Ashley Fairbanks, Emery's sister, had a nephew yesterday around, I don't know, 2 or 3. So that's pretty cool. She helped me at the ceremonial start, hopped on a plane and headed for Bethel, and she's out there now, and she'll be able to make it to Nome for the finish, which is cool. And so, I mean, congrats to Ashley and Sean. That's very cool. They got a young, I think it's the first I know it's first grandson that Grant and Debbie have, so
nice.
that's cool.
Well, have a great time out there. I mean, we really, you got a huge fan base, and we love to see you getting it to the finish line.
Yeah, and thank you, John. You're one of the small parts that, posting pictures, doing videos like this, so I really appreciate it.
I love it. All right, have a great time.
Cool,
Yeah.
thanks.
See ya.